Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Grandia 2. Last time, Elena was feeling seasick, so we came to rest on an island full of these guys. Now, these guys also spawn in groups of 3, just like, the warp warriors in the previous area. I believe I can burn flame them to death. Let's see.
Red.
Yeah, I mentioned in the last episode that most of the lines we got out of Tio there concerning using spells has not been particularly interesting. So we'll just use just an attack item to finish them off. They'll die pretty easily. Or they won't. That works too. Who is using a spell? You? Considering it says move block in the name of the ability, I would guess that's what it does.
Yeah.
And they die pretty easily. Use boom or use zap on them. That'll one-shot them pretty easily. Again, they're weak, or they're strong against whatever that spell is. What's that spell called? Tremor. Heal up there. The enemies do come out of pretty much everywhere around here, so you really have to watch out to make sure you're not going to get ambushed. And they guard items too. Do note up here, there is a new axe up there for Merrick. We'll have to make sure we grab that. And some new enemies, frogs. These frogs are flame toads. I will look, but I'm pretty sure, they're weak to lightning as well as ice, and of course strong versus fire. Lightning? That's what it says. Unfortunately, it's not instant quite yet. Let's fix that.
Oh, lightning, lend us your power.
But yeah, you could use ice here. Unfortunately, I don't have any ice and the enemies have disappeared, but that's all fine. There they are. They die. Ah, they drop accessories.
We shall be safe ahead.
A pretty bracelet, which just sells for money, so that's fine. I could use more money. Speaking of powering up, though, let's take a look at the Book of Gales we got last time and the time before, whenever it was. So we got speed, which is movement, not agility, so not particularly useful. Wind Lightning. Yeah, I like that one. We also have Wind Blizzard, which I'm not as big a fan of. It's good for whoever has the Mist Egg, but other than that, I don't particularly like it. Counter after evasion, sure. Execution time for items, I'll take that one. That's for movement speed, which I don't particularly need, though I could put some points in that. Counter after evasion is particularly useful if you want to build up, say, Tio, and I've done some re-equipping since the last episode. Gave her the illusion clothes, shadow shoes, and if you give her starting item, which was the meteor earring, 25, that's a total of 40% evade on her equipment now. You give her, let's see here, power up, something like, where is it? Abandonment, so ups chance of evading the enemy, and then you give her, there's the Gales. Then you give her something like this to counter. She's very effective as a counter-destroying machine. But again, I don't get hit very much, so it's not really the best strategy for how I've got things set up, at least not in this fight. In, say, a boss fight, it might be quite useful. So I'm not too particularly worried about that. Who else should I give skilled item to? You? Sure, we'll give you... Got 4 uses, so we'll give you that. And then Elena. I just like having things in specific order, so we're going to have you like that. So we have Fire and Lightning and Wind and Lightning, so you can instantly cast Zap, and your wind spells are finally going to do some more damage. Other than that, I will be putting more points into other spells going forward, such as Crackling. We'll do probably some Howl NATO there. I don't really need that. That's not all that good, but I could learn it, and I probably will later. This is probably the best single spell in the game. As far as damage goes, I'll do more damage with this than pretty much anything, because not only does it hit a line, it does a shit ton of damage. There is a slightly more powerful one, but it's single targeting. There's actually, like, as far as lightning elemental goes, there's some other single targeting spells that do more damage to a single target, but this hits more than one enemy. So I like this. It'll be my go-to attack when I eventually learn it. Nothing else I want to learn on that one. And the Gravity Egg, we will be working on Quake and Hellburner and whatever the hell that one is. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But yeah, we'll kind of put points in there later after we actually learn some. This area is not too confusing. Dragonfly Axe, or whatever it was called. Let's see here. No. Bugs, crustaceans. It's actually weaker than the one we have, but bugs and crustaceans are the enemies that we tend to fight around here. So we'll put it on. Not that we really need it, because that's not what I meant to do. That was kind of dumb. Let's do it again. Yeah, so now we have an Instacast on Lightning. They are weak against Lightning. Lightning already did a crap ton of damage now that I fixed its problem. So let's see how much damage we can do with 100% increased lightning damage. Yeah, sounds about right. Completely overkill, but it's great. I love it. Blessing Scroll, I think that's Magic Block. What is that? Blessing Scroll. No, that's Magic. Oh, there it is. It does both. Perfect. I think we can buy that at the next town, so I'll be selling all of my Magic Blessings and Move Blessings. Do note that I've barely used any of the Lumiere Flowers or the Butter Rolls or the Blueberries yet. This is probably the first point where we really start to need that, because we're going to start going through a lot of MP before we can head back to a save point. Well, I guess we could, but it's no longer really worthwhile to just avoid, run all the way back and try and heal, because now that we have the items, we might as well make use of them. Okay, got some money here. I'm probably going to clear out the rest of these guys off screen. Okay, so I took care of all the rest of the enemies, I believe, on the screen. Some minor notes. They come at you from everywhere, and especially those crustaceans, the little claw dudes. They will jump at you from like all over the place, and they're really annoying. And if they start jumping around like enemies that look like them previously, they will be easily able to surround you, and that's a real pain in the ass. And that is reasonably well hidden. Flame shoes, flame bandana, flame armor. Oh, right, and I got inflicted with a status effect that I forgot to cure. There we go, all better. The crustaceans are strong against ice elemental attacks, so Solar Freeze is not particularly good against them. The flame toads are also strong against earth elemental for some reason. Let's see here, flame armor, got some flame resistance. Yeah, I think that's about time we upgrade you. What else I got? Flame bandana, fire resistance. I could give more to you if I wanted to. In fact, I probably will. I believe those little crustaceans can also use sleep, so you may want protection against that, though they almost never get the chance to with me. Let's see, and the other thing was an accessory. Wasn't a fire pendant. What was it? Was it not? Was it fire shoes? Flame shoes. Okay, more fire resistance. I don't want those ones, but yeah. So there you go. Reasonably well hidden. Gotta like that. But yeah, it's pretty boring to run through here when all the enemies are taken care of. But there's a lot of them, and they're just a real pain in the ass. So anyway, like they'll jump down at you from places like in one of these holes or this hole or one of the holes. I don't know. And there's healing fruit. There's two groups of them here, and they both surrounded me because usually as you're walking in, that's right in the way, and then you're trying to find out where they are without turning the camera. And, it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, more guys. Oh yeah, you can do, with Elena, you can do enough damage with Howl Slash, now that she's got it boosted by 50%, in order to one-shot the toads as well, if you're interested in that. Now, here it's pretty easy to miss out on stuff, which is surprising, because it's not really all that confusing of an area, but, yeah, they pop out of nowhere. Okay. Surprised I didn't get an ambush on those that last group there. But I did want to kind of show something off here. Unfortunately, I don't believe she has any. But Lotus Flower, you take a look at the angle that she has. Like, it does hit multiple enemies. It's awesome. But the width of the line that goes for it is actually smaller than with other spells such as Howl Slash. But that doesn't mean that it's bad, because it does a lot of damage. Let's get Elena to finish the rest of those guys off with Howl Slash, just to show you. Yeah, it's a much bigger size, and we should be able to finish off. It missed?
Oh,
seriously?
Many winds descend.
But yeah, it's usually pretty easy to get the hit there. One of the reasons why I don't like wind elemental damage, hey, stop that, is because it tends to miss, or it doesn't hit all 4 of the enemies. In most battles you're fighting 4 enemies when they're all in a tight group like that, just because of the angle that your character happens to be on. And it's rather unfortunate, because otherwise I'd probably make a lot more use out of wind elemental damage, but because it's such a pain and it doesn't work all the time and it'll miss either 1 or 2 of them, then I usually just don't bother with it. Here's a new enemy. Scaly Warrior. They are weak to lightning, if I recall correctly. Scaly Worker, weak to lightning. Perfect. Let's end this battle now. Pretty much everyone around here is weak to that. Oh, if I haven't mentioned it already, those little crustacean dudes, the Crimson Claws, they should be able to use sleep on your party members. So I did mention that. Okay, never mind. But yeah, they fall down pretty easily. Do note that those toads are dropping dynamite, and dynamite is actually pretty good as an item, which is one of the reasons why, as far as skill equips goes, he's got one and he's got one, because they're not going to be very useful using spells in this area. So, no, too far. So if you want to, you can use dynamite, which has an attack power of 1,000. It's actually reasonably effective to use. It's not going to one-shot anything, but it's at least useful enough that it does some damage. We get 3,000 gold now, so that's awesome. Starting to get a lot more money. It's good. We need a lot more money. Yeah, I just used Merrick to use dynamite in that fight, and it did about 900 damage to all enemies. There's the second necklace in the game. That goes along with what I was saying a number of episodes back about there being specific items that you had to collect all of in order to get an achievement. Necklaces being one of them. That's the coral one. But yeah, let's see. We can just use the dynamite here. That's fine. See how much Ryudo can do with it. Yeah, 800 damage, which is fine because it'll save you a lot of points. I won't be able to kill all of them. Will I? No, definitely not. I don't have a cheap one, do I? Burn. No, I can't do burn one. I gotta use boom. Oh well.
Wait, 8,000.
I guess I could have used an item with you as well, but that's fine. I'm just trying to kind of save MP, because as you can see, both Elena and Tio are running very low on MP at this point. Which is why I bought the items earlier in the game. You don't tend to use them a lot. There's a lullaby staff, so that's good. So there's 2 items there. Yeah, depending on how your camera is spinning in this area, it can be relatively easy to miss out on things. And did I get all the stuff over here? I have a feeling that I'm always missing stuff in this area. So it looks like I got it all, so hopefully I did. Let's equip that lullaby staff there. If I recall, it has a free sleep effect. It's only 5 worse than the Buster Flail. It's got a sleep effect when you use it as a weapon, I believe. I don't think it has snooze on it, so it's actually somewhat useful if you want to use her to physically attack, say, a boss or something like that. Kind of useful. Okay, there's like 4 battles floating around here, so I just took care of all of them off screen. Simple enough. There are 2 paths here. I believe this one, is that the right way? No, it's not the right way. This is the dead end. I took care of those guys. I think it's the Scaly Warriors, or one of the enemies that was floating around there. I dropped a seed of moves. Not that it's of any great impact. We'll get more than enough of those, I think, or at least enough to do something with. I would definitely use that, because I was right out of MP. other thing is we got some points, so I would like to invest in crackling so that I have that. I don't have anything to boost it yet, but we can work on that later. Just gives him something to target all enemies, so that's nice. Unfortunately, this one's single targeting. There is no some targeting ice elemental spell. The only one we had was the skill that Rowan had, and he's no longer with us. Okay, don't need that yet. I'm not going to put anything in there. Let's do Earth, I guess. We'll max that one out, and that should help us going forward. And then I'll do that one next, and then probably... yeah, we'll probably move on and we'll do either that or that, just so we get some nice variety as far as spells go. And I think that's pretty much all we need to do. Well, I can max out that. That'll give me access to this, which is kind of pointless. Basically, you'll combine, I was saying this before, you combine this with this so that you're the target, you take all the damage, and you have all the evasion, so you don't actually take any damage and you counter. It's kind of useful in boss fights, but normally enemies don't get enough turns for it to really be worthwhile. I may invest the points in there and build someone up as an evade tank later on, but not right now. Okay, we're back. So let's just go over this super quickly here. As far as equipment goes, I don't think I've changed anything. Doesn't really oh, I did. I changed. Everyone got the Sister's Hat. I was thinking something else I didn't do anything on. So paralysis resistance will be helpful going forward. As far as skill equips, that's all pretty much the same as it's been for quite some time now. And we already saw the spells we learned. Let's go forward. Ah, these guys. Now, I would guess they have the same elemental affinity as the other ones. You can't get an early attack on them or anything like that. But this is not a really difficult fight. They can do defense -1 with an attack, and they can... that's that attack, Phantom Echo. And then they can do paralysis and a lot of damage on a single targeting attack. But I'm not particularly worried about that. We're going to hit you.
Tensei can slash!
Basically, in this fight, my guess is they have like the same elemental affinity, like I was saying, as the little guys. So I would guess they're weak to lightning. So zap all of them, and then hopefully we'll move them closer together and we can boom them.
Thunder.
But other than that, I would guess they're strong against earth and they're strong against ice. So Ryudo, I probably should have equipped a different weapon, but I didn't. Oh well. It does lots of damage anyway. I believe these guys are also susceptible to paralysis, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, can I hit them both? I don't think I'll quite hit them both. So let's see. Can I hit them both with boom? No. What should I use? Scrub it. We'll go for Lotus Flower. I was hoping I'd hit them both. Sometimes, like, the spot that seems to hit a lot of the time with Lotus Flower is confusing. It doesn't always seem to make the most amount of sense. Will you hit anything there? You won't hit you. You might hit you. You're doing an attack. You're also doing an attack. I should probably do some more damage to you.
Beast Fang! Cut!
Yeah, you can do more damage, that's fine. As long as they're not using their special attacks, I'm not particularly worried. Let's see here. We'll go for some more Zap All, because that's doing most of the damage at this point.
Oh, lightning! Lend
But yeah,
us
it's
your
not a
power.
particularly difficult boss fight. It's just kind of, you know, a token boss fight, because you're in an area, you need a boss fight. Have one. It's not all that difficult to deal with. Yeah, they are susceptible to paralysis. I thought they were. Which makes, of course, the boss fight even easier than it already was. So yeah, I would avoid doing damage to you. We'll spend all the time doing damage on you. Our fighters are going to use their canceling attacks, and then the other two are just going to use spells if possible. Unfortunately, I haven't learned anything that targets all, save for Quake, and I don't think they take a lot of damage from Quake, but I can try it anyway.
Magnitude 0807.
Yeah, they're strong against that. That would make sense. Probably strong against ice as well, which means I could probably do some damage with wind on them, or lightning, or of course, boom. I would not expect fire to be particularly useful. But yeah, we can zap all these guys to death. Literally.
O lightning, lend us your power.
This is why I give most of my speed boosting equipment, or my agility boosting equipment, to my mages, because they're going to do a lot of the damage in both random encounters and in a lot of boss fights, at least until later. There we go. Easy enough. We get another mana aid for it, which is nice. The Soul Egg. I don't remember that one being particularly useful. And that's pretty much it for this one. So next time I'll check the Soul Egg out and see. I can't remember if it's useful or not, but we may replace the Mist Egg with it. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.